Coming up, the luckiest moment in TFT history.
Please remember to support Mission4Tution by hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and turning on notifications.
Hi, welcome to a TFT ranked game, as I'm currently jumping between this and Hyper Roll right now, so I'm going to do a little bit of each. I'm going to skip you through kind of the boring start and just show you where everything's cemented. Right after the NPC round, I immediately had 2 silver redeemed and a Syndra. So it was really easy to go into the first PvP round with 3 redeemed and see how it went, to decide whether I was going to level up going into 2-2. Because if I won, then I'd want to level up to keep my win streak going. I grab a Giant's Belt here because I'd like to create a Sunfire Cape on Leona. And we level up and we're ready to go into the next round with the Knight buff on top of our existing redeem buff, hoping to keep the win streak going as long as possible. So that way we get more gold and can push through. Again, I'll speed you through these early fights because it just sort of is what it is. We keep our win streak going onto the carousel. Chance to pick up the Chain Vest will complete the Sunfire Cape on Leona, which is something I absolutely want. We pre-leveled heading into the carousel, and so we throw out another Knight just to kind of add a little more tankiness to the front line in the hopes again of keeping the win streak going. As you can see, having that Sunfire Cape on Leona is key, because not only does it add a burn to the person, but it also, that burn reduces their healing. And a lot of characters in this set rely on healing. So having the Sunfire Cape is not only taking away their health, but taking away their ability to gain back their health. So as an early item, it's really strong, and on a tank like Leona, it's really good because it's going to last deep into the fight. Now this NPC round gives me a magnetic remover and then a Nico's help and a little extra coinage. I'm already looking at my items and thinking about later game. I have the ability to make the Hextech Gunblade for vel'koz, but I don't have a really good item carrier yet. At this point, I'm just letting things play out, because even if I lose here, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, and I'm just trying to econ because I need to get to the higher levels quickly, where I'm more likely to pick up the high level redeemed. Since there isn't too much in this build that calls for a Shadow Chain Vest, I grabbed the Sparring Glove as the best option. I could have grabbed Zira here to be an item holder, but decided I'd rather continue to level and econ as much as possible than just trying to win automatically, because I have enough health at this point to hang on. And so I'm really looking towards getting that vel'koz and completely itemizing them. As you can see, the strategy's a little hit and miss, win some, lose some, but at this point, that's okay. I'm rewarded a little bit as I get a vel'koz off of this carousel. However, that is not an item I want on vel'koz. It just doesn't serve any real purpose, but for the moment at least, it'll fit into my build nicely. At this point, I go ahead and sacrifice a little bit of econ to shore up my front line, making it stronger because I know I'm going to want vel'koz to do damage from the back. Grab a Callista just to make the Hextech Gunblade, stick it on vel'koz, and hope I can get back onto a win streak. Because as you can see, vel'koz is really strong and can just do massive damage, and with the healing and shield that the Hextech provides, vel'koz can actually stay in fights and even finish them off when it doesn't seem possible. With the opportunity to 2-star our Syndra and pick up a Varus, it's time to lose that Poppy I've been holding on to just shore up the front line. Just go with the 2 Knights, and we are locking for the additional Varus and the Karma, as we want to get back into our econ state. The Karma is going to be great because she's going to trigger the Invoker buff on Syndra, which will allow her to cast more often, which will in turn help keep vel'koz safe, because he is really squishy if people get to him, but you want him protected, and Syndra does that by just throwing anything that gets near to him away. as soon as we get the chance, we buy Karma, Varus, level up, do one obligatory roll just to see if we get lucky, and we can put Karma out for that Invoker buff. And here, well, this is the luckiest moment in TFT, because it's not 1, not 2, but 3 spatulas off 1 NPC round. Grabbing Taric here is an absolute no-brainer. He's going to pair up great with Leona to make a Knight buff. However, since we're doing Redeemed, I'm also thinking about getting Kale in the long run, and that would make Verdant, which will allow characters around them to have a built-in Quicksilver. I use Warwick just to create the Force of Nature and get Taric out on the board so he can immediately do some healing. Having an additional player on the board is going to make these rounds a lot easier than they would normally be, and as you can see, Syndra just throws things away and it allows everything to clean up very easily. Some interesting items here, but Rabadon's Caustic Death Cap is really the one I want to get, because it is going to give vel'koz a huge boost in ability power. It is going to reduce health, but as I said before, we're using Syndra as a protector, so things are not getting to vel'koz that easily. Oh, remember that item that I hated getting off the carousel? Well, luckily, that Negatron cloak and a spatula make a redeemed emblem, which I'm able to put on Taric to create the 6th redeemed, which will make this comp even stronger. And although you can't see it at this point, this unkillable vampire is getting hurt and will finally get finished off when vel'koz does his ult. At this point, the name of the game is just pick up any redeemed I see and level any gold that's over 50, because I want to get up as high as possible so I have the best chance of getting the strongest characters. You will immediately be able to see the Caustic Death Cap's ability to just increase the power that vel'koz is pouring out. Now on this carousel, I have my eye on that tier the whole time because I know I need to create a mana item. With no other option though, I grab the Karma. However, it is going to create a silver Karma with a single sparring glove on her. It's not the best thing possible, but at least it works for now, and a silver Karma is really never a bad thing to have in a game, and she can do a lot of damage. And with the Invoker buff, she'll be casting more often. Although for now, our single star vel'koz is really stealing the show in terms of damage. But as with every upside on the Rabadon's Caustic Death Cap, there's a downside, and this vel'koz is able to completely take me out. Remember how I said I liked having the silver Karma? Well, with Taric healing her, and then her being able to cast more often, she's able to save this match and keep it from being what was pretty definitely a loss into keeping a win streak alive. Now this is a pretty interesting point because we are now at level 8, and thanks to the Force of Nature, that means we can have 9 players on the board. So I can either econ and try to go for level 9, giving me the best chance of getting a 5 cost, or I can take this moment and roll down. I decide, you know what, I just want to try to get the 9 redeemed. I'm going to roll down as much as I can and try to make this team as powerful as possible and hope that that 5% chance I end up getting a Kale, or more than one, as I go on. It's time to finish the itemization on vel'koz, so a Spear of Sojin will give us the much needed mana. Rel makes the 8th redeemed, so at this point it is only Kale left to go. It's time to just Nico's help that vel'koz to make it even stronger than it was before. And as you can see, it quickly pays off because this is the one that took me out before, but with the silver vel'koz going straight across the board, he's able to absolutely dominate. The additional mana of the Spear of Sojin, along with now being silver, really helps. Here, grab the Ironclad buff because Rel is an Ironclad, so why not? Let's give ourselves that. But right underneath, was the Kale we have been looking for. So at this point, we can remove Karma. We do lose the Invoker buff, but it puts us up to 9 redeemed. The other key is that this gives us the first level of the Verdant buff. This provides 4 seconds of CC immunity to characters near either Kale or Taric, which is why I have them separated. I want to keep Vel from getting CC'd, and I want to keep my tank group from getting CC'd. But I want to draw your attention to the fun part of this fight. Down in the lower right, Jax has decided to lock onto Lux. However, with the redeemed armor buff, Lux is not easy to take out. So as much as Jax is just beating on her and beating on her, he is not getting through, which allows the rest of my team to take him out. Now this person might have watched one of my earlier videos in which I questioned whether Kled could carry, as they seem to be setting up Kled to be their carry. And maybe this strategy would have worked. However, with how tanky this team is due to the redeem buff, which in this patch was 100 armor and magic resist, there just wasn't enough for Kled to be able to do anything. There are actually several good items on this carousel. However, I opt to grab the Guardian Angel to put on Taric so that if he goes down, he can come back up and keep the team alive. We're still looking just to fill in anything we can, but once again, let's just take a look at what goes on in the lower right-hand corner when Nocturne decides he's going to take on Lux. Just slice after slice after slice, he is not moving her health bar at all. Now this is a team we met earlier that has an incredibly tanky Vladimir. Maybe they saw my unkillable vampire video that I did before. However, with our new silver vel'koz and our 9 redeem buff, once it goes into overtime, Kale is able to take things over and finish it off. Now I've actually made a critical positioning mistake in this part of the match, and you can see right now vel'koz is able to do damage and take things out. However, once the targets directly in front of him are gone, he has nothing left to attack because he is locked in by everyone around him for a moment. We've been looking for it all game, and now we're able to get a gold Syndra, or 3-star, however you like to think about it. After this NPC, I have a choice because I get a Reforger, so I decide to reforge the Thieves' Gloves and manage to get a Runan's Hurricane, which is a perfect item for Kale, especially to go with a Rage Blade. So we go into this fight with me feeling pretty good about this. Their vel'koz is now up to silver and we exchange ults. However, thanks to the healing of the Hex Tech and the AP advantage of the Rabadon's Caustic Death Cap, my Vel is able to knock out their Vel and take them out of the game. And I just want to show you real quick as I prepare for the last person. Syndra is doing 1200 magic damage per attack, and vel'koz 3565 from his beam. So this team, with the amount of buffs, is incredibly strong. One small disclaimer is that I recorded this prior to the B patch, and they did slightly nerf redeemed, so that it's now only 95 additional armor, magic resist, and AP from the 9 redeemed. However, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference because the power spike to 9 redeemed is so huge, and with the right items, it just doesn't matter, and you should be able to win. Of course, you need to get lucky and get 3 spatulas on a single carousel. Thank you, hope you enjoyed, and have an absolutely awesome day.